Welcome back. Parliament has passed 3 gender-based violence bills. The proposed laws were introduced after a spate of violence and murders of women in 2018. The Domestic Violence Amendment, the Criminal Law and the Criminal and Related Matters Amendment Bill are now before President Cyril Ramaphosa for approval. But will they help in fighting gender-based violence? Well, let's chat now to GBV spokesperson at the Action Society Advocacy Group, Nomfundo Jele. Nomfundo, thank you very much for your time. It's an issue that continues to grip the nation as we see more and more horrific murders of young women. We continue to see rape. We've heard a drastic jump in the rape statistics released by the police minister in recent months. But I want to talk specifically about these 3 bills. They've got quite mixed names: Domestic Violence Amendment, the Criminal Law and the Criminal and Related Matters Amendment. What do these bills propose to change in our laws that would protect women?
Okay, hello Anne-Lee, and thank you so much for having us on the show today. As a civil rights organization driven by a purpose to be the voice for the voiceless in a broken society, these GBV bills are important to us at Action Society. As you already mentioned, there is currently only a 7.8% conviction rate of guilty verdict of reported sexual offences cases in South Africa. And we as Action Society believe that delayed justice is not justice at all. It's also very important to have stricter laws and regulations in the form of these bills. And stricter laws and regulations in the form of these bills will not solve the scourge of gender-based violence. It needs to be implemented by police and officers of the law. Otherwise, it's just a piece of paper.
So often we talk about implementation. It's something that comes through in all our discussions about government's work. We have to recognise that good work is being done. These bills have been praised by many members of Parliament as a giant leap forward for the protection of women. But what I hear you saying is that it's too much lip service, and that if the implementation falls short, we're very unlikely to see any kind of real change. What can we, though, expect from these bills, if anything?
All right, that is correct, Annelie. Our stance is, if it's not implemented, then what is the point? It is basically just lip service. And I cannot discuss all the amendments, but I will just highlight, I will discuss some of the highlights with the specific bills. In the Criminal Law Sexual Offences and Related Matters Amendment Bill, we welcome the fact that the National Register of Sex Offenders will be more accessible to the public. This is a huge victory for us, because institutions such as schools can now put in a request to access that register before employing anybody. And also, we believe that the National Register for Sex Offenders needs to be implemented to its full potential and purpose, which is to protect the vulnerable citizens from sexual predators. We really hope that this register, the register's functionality will be increased so that it can serve its purpose. Okay, regarding the Criminal and Related Matters Amendment Bill, we welcome the fact that complainants will have a right to testify in bail and parole proceedings. We believe that the current justice system is not victim-centered, because victims of gender-based violence are continually disappointed by the justice system. And it's time for the victims to be heard, and their needs need to be considered when a perpetrator is applying for bail or parole. We also welcome the fact that victims will be able to testify via CCTV, which will ensure that there's no additional trauma, because currently they have to face the perpetrators in court, which extends their trauma for longer. This amendment provides protection for victims. And just finally, the Domestic Violence Amendment Bill introduces an online protection order application. So victims are spared the extra trauma of going to the police station, where they often can't get, and often they really can't get to a police station to apply for protection orders. So this will protect them from further trauma. There's also going to be a central database of protection orders, which will also protect victims of GBV. And it will also build stronger court cases, which will help with successful prosecution. It will also stop perpetrators from reoffending.
So thank you for that summary. It's nice to get some insights into exactly what these new amendments and bills will mean for victims of gender-based violence. We know that these bills have now been sent to President Cyril Ramaphosa for approval. That may take some time, and we know that implementation will take even more time. We've seen victims of gender-based violence really let down, not only by the police, but by the criminal justice system during this pandemic, when, unfortunately, courts have been, backlogged with cases, victims unable to get justice, unable to get to a point of closure, and still having to possibly face their perpetrators for the time being, while cases are being postponed for months and months at a time. What do we need to be doing right now? These bills are great, but we need more action on the ground, right?
Yes, that is correct. Gender-based violence continues to rise, and we believe that these bills will actually assist in curbing that. But I think right now, the police needs to check up their resources, check up their people, and actually just be there and do their job. That is what we actually need right now. And we're also hoping that the president actually signs them immediately and that there is no further delay. I mean, they've been in the pipeline. They were introduced in Parliament in November 2018. So we are just hoping that there is no further delay.
We've seen a number of amendments made to those bills. So as you say, hopefully they are in a condition now, as they've been approved by the NCOP and the National Assembly, to be approved right away by the president. What do you think is one of the most urgent societal concerns that we need to be addressing? You've said there that police need to be better equipped, better resourced to enforce the law, but in a lot of times they react after the fact, when a crime has already been committed. Trying to prevent gender-based violence, that lies on the doorstep of every South African. What still needs to happen?
I think with education, proper education, and the way we bring up the men in the society, I think that will just assist in curbing this gender-based violence. I think we just need to educate the males in the society to let them know what is right, what is wrong, and just to instill morals in society.
Thank you very much. So much work for us all to do on a daily basis. Nomfundo Jele, thank you very much for your contributions. She is from the Action Society Advocacy Group, telling us there about 3 bills that are now lying on the President's table to be signed off.